At the meeting, the Los Angeles School Board deciding the district's 600,000 students, when age eligible, will have to be vaccinated to attend classes beginning in November. School board member Dr. George McKenna saying avoiding the vaccine is a deadly mistake.
You don't want to get this disease. Prayer might help, but it won't cure in this case.
It comes
Foggy? Okay.
Can you see?
Nope. Oh, yeah, okay.
Can't see across the hillside.
Mobile?
Being here, I feel like I'm helping to contribute to help ease some of the pain.
2,977 flags are planted, one for each person killed.
The flag display will be up until noon on Monday. A prosecution witness at the latest trial of a man accused of killing 9 people in separate arson fires in his Akron neighborhood says surveillance video shows a man making repeated attempts to start a fire at one of the homes. Here's ONN's Daniel Barnett.
Bradley Barkhurst is an analyst with the Ohio State Fire Marshal's office. He testified Wednesday at the trial of Stanley Ford, who could be sentenced to death if convicted on multiple aggravated murder charges. He's accused of killing a couple in 2016 and 2 adults and 5 children in 2017. Summit County prosecutors have said the 62-year-old Ford set the fires because of disputes with his neighbors. Daniel Barnett, ONN News.
4 county fairs are going on heading into the weekend: Belmont, Hardin, Highland, and Morgan. Wayne and Williams start on Sunday. I'm Dave James on the Ohio News Network.
Calls and conversations continue in less than 3 minutes as the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues after this.
Get more light and save energy with a quad burst folding bulb from Menards. The 4 ultra bright panels adjust to multiple angles, providing light where it's needed most. Ideal for garages and storage areas. Pick it up for $21.97 after sale price and 11% rebate. That's more than $8 off. Get 11% off everything now at Menards. Good through September 11th. Savings are mail and rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Now, during the Jim Robinson Ford Lincoln Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale, select from over 80 vehicles in stock starting under $5,000. Most are local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to Jim Robinson at the Highlands, home of lifetime powertrain protection. Now, during the Jim Robinson Ford Lincoln Toyota Pre-Owned Super Sale, select from over 80 vehicles in stock starting under $5,000. Most are local trades, many with one owner. Hurry to Jim Robinson at the Highlands, home of lifetime powertrain protection.
CA House Music has all the gear to make your music legendary. With all the best gear, including Fender, Epiphone, Yamaha, and more, CA House will have you rocking in no time. Get the most for your money with everyday low prices. And we meet or beat internet pricing. Play before you buy and let our product specialists help you pick out the instrument that's right for you. CA House Music, supporting local musicians since 1872. Play music for life.
Hello, everyone. It's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is, fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. I'm a private real estate investor who can solve your real estate problems fast for cash. Do you want to sell and just be done with it? Okay, great. I buy vacant properties, boarded up houses, pre-foreclosures, and inherited properties. I also buy apartment buildings, rental portfolios, divorce homes. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. I look forward to solving your real estate problems today. Call me today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Hello, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm the Storm Tracker, Darnell Foster, with a look at your local weather forecast for your Football Friday. With sun and clouds mixing through the day, temperatures should rise to about 75 for the daytime high. An overnight low of 53 degrees under mainly clear skies, with clouds and sunshine mixing for your Saturday. Temperatures are in the lower 80s once again. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
In the year 1898, Marconi sent his first radio message across the English Channel.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Let's have a tune. I'm sick of this silence.
There's nothing wrong with being fun and popular and just giving people what they want.
This is not radio fantasy camp. We're on the air here.
You seem happy this morning.
Is it Friday already?
Friday.
All I'm doing is getting on the air. The revolution will be broadcast.
How about Friday?
What's this?
Did you ever hear of a thing called radio?
Thank God it's Friday!
It's show time.
Live from the Robinson Auto Group studios in the heart of the Ohio Valley, this is the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
And welcome to a Friday, 54 degrees, partly cloudy, they're calling it, at the Wheeling, Ohio County Airport. A little bit cooler, 52 degrees, and it's foggy, coming dense fog, actually, outside my home studios here in the Elm Grove section of Wheeling, 52 at the Robinson Auto Group Studios, downtown Wheeling, in the heart of the Ohio Valley. Good day in store when this fog burns off. Going to be sunny and nice. We should get up to around 73 or so. So not too bad today. Next couple of days to be very nice. We'll have the full forecast with Zach coming up a little bit later on this morning. Where are we going and what are we doing this morning on COVID? Wheeling Park High has canceled its football home opener. Makes me wonder, I haven't heard it, just wonder, will the Ohio County School Board now go back and think again about this mask mandate? Marshall County schools have done that. They're instituting a mask mandate starting Monday in Marshall County schools. President Biden imposes some sweeping vaccine mandates. I've got all of this and more in the COVID update coming up in just a bit. Some Mountain State legislators are urging a special session to ban, to prevent, to not allow any business to put any kind of mandate into effect, mask, vaccine, et cetera, et cetera. We're going to talk to Senate Minority Leader Stephen Baldwin about the likelihood that that will happen this time. Our 9/11 anniversary programming continues. More from the ABC networks, looking back on that day and the aftermath that we still feel about it. Newspaper editor John McCabe and I will reflect on the 9/11 anniversary. We'll also look at the Ohio Valley News Week in Review in our regular Friday roundtable. So a bit of what I have to offer you, and whatever you have to offer me, you can do it on the text line, 304-214-1600, 304-214-1600. Again, happy to get you on the text line, or you can use the CityNet hotline if the mood strikes you. 7:12 in the morning here on the Watchdog Morning Show. Good morning, Brother Biff.
Good morning, Howard.
Did it seem to you this week went fast? I guess it was a short week, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, for us, it was a short week, but yeah, even with not being here Monday, it just seemed like another week flew by.
Yeah, I got up this morning, I'm thinking, wow, it was kind of a happy wow, not a sad wow, but it was like, wow, it's Friday already? Whew, boy, oh boy. Several people have recommended here on this show, Biff, over the last week or so, this 9/11 documentary series on Netflix. Do you get Netflix, Biffy?
No, I don't.
Well, I watched it last night. It's a 5-part series. I watched 4 of the 5, saved one for today or tomorrow. And it recreates the scenes of 9/11 and takes us back to that day, talks to an awful lot of the people involved in that day, the firefighters, the policemen, the folks who were in the building, people on the street, and so on. But then it also moves us forward through the troubling times that came later. I've said this before. I was completely in agreement 20 years ago with going into Afghanistan. I felt that they had harbored Osama bin Laden. Osama bin Laden had been sort of the king of the group that masterminded the plot to attack us on our own soil, kill thousands of Americans in the World Trade Center, the Pentagon, the down Flight 93, and so on. It brought terrorism to our shore and did its job, terrorized the American public, and they should pay. And I looked at it as revenge, punishment, whatever word you want to use. I was all in favor of going into Afghanistan, seeking out bin Laden, and making Afghanistan and bin Laden pay. But as time has gone on, things got perverted. Things got perverse. Watching this Netflix documentary, which if you have Netflix, I highly recommend it to you. These are people who were directly involved in some of these decisions that were made. 2 things in particular really went awry early on in the days after 9/11. Again, not talking militarily, 20 years later, we realized that maybe it was a fool's errand to keep on going there because we spent trillions of dollars and thousands of American lives. And we've just now said, okay, that's it, we're done, we've gotten out. And if you look at the day we went in and the day we went out, Afghanistan is not much different. Not much different. Taliban ran before we got there. Taliban's running it now. Women were in trouble, disrespected, beaten, and so on before we got in there. They're doing so now as well. So it was a maybe fruitless war. Shouldn't have been there for 20 years. But we didn't know that going in. We had at least a short-term game plan. We stretched it out long-term, and that was wrong. But things went awry shortly after we made that decision. And they went awry in terms of using torture to on people who weren't really even involved in, or even what's the word I'm looking for? Secondarily involved. Tertiary is what I was looking for. Tertiarily involved in the attack on 9/11. They just rounded up people in Afghanistan. We put a bounty on the head. We said, you give us somebody, we'll give you money. And so, of course, when that happens, people turn them in. And we had all these folks. We took them to Guantanamo Bay, Gitmo. We treated them terribly. We tortured them. Alberto Gonzalez, who was the Attorney General that wrote the memo that permitted torture, discussed it in this Netflix documentary. And he was so calm about it. Well, previously, and the word he uses quaint, previously we had a quaint idea that we should treat these prisoners nicely. But I decided it was legal and giving within our Constitution, even in terms of human rights, we gave human rights to these people, and he outlined the different things that we were allowed to do, bending them into strange shapes, banging their head against the wall, waterboarding, and so on. Things went way, way off the track. We learned in this documentary there were people inside the administration trying to say no, 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 but they did. And supposedly we got information out of that. Don Rumsfeld, who was the SecDec at the time, said, we got good information. But others said we didn't get anything of any value from these folks, because torture, you say anything eventually in the end. So that was one thing we went wrong. And then we got into all of this Patriot Act surveillance, the largest gathering of data and information about everybody. Hey, is it okay if you have reason to believe that someone is a mobster to tap their phones with a court order? I say thee yay. If you have someone who you think is involved in a terrorist act or a terrorist group, get a court order, tap their phones, monitor them, I say thee yay. But the idea of just everybody's information being scooped up, just like what's happening right now, probably, getting alerts somewhere in the NSA, Monroe is at it again, Monroe is at it again. That took us way, way, way off base. We were just completely and totally beyond the pale in that. We had Bob Ney with us yesterday. He was a congressman at the time, one of the 3 Republicans who voted against the Patriot Act, said it just went too far. So I realize how the world changed after 9/11, and to some extent it had to, but we did a lot of really bad things in the name of trying to keep us safe, and we didn't have to do it. What we should have done, and we did do this to some extent, what we should have done is tighten up the intelligence gathering we had, get the agencies to talk together. It's now become a cliche. We know that all of the signs were there about the 9/11 attack, the pilots coming in, or the terrorists coming in, taking flight training and saying they just want to fly, they don't even want to learn how to land. Shouldn't that have been a red flag? It actually was, but one agency didn't tell another agency about it. They actually tracked the pilots. I didn't know this. They had tracked the pilots to a meeting in Kuala Lumpur a couple of years before 9/11. There was a big mastermind planning meeting in Kuala Lumpur. All 4 of the pilots were there, and we knew about it. And I don't know if we had anybody inside there, but we knew about it. We knew where it was. We knew what they talked about. Nothing was done. Maybe we should have worried more about fixing our own problems than about scooping up data and information. At any rate, this Netflix documentary got me thinking a lot about that. Certainly, in retrospect, the war was handled wrong. Yes, maybe the exit was handled wrong too. I don't want to get into the politics of that, but the war was handled wrong. So, if you have Netflix watch the documentary, it will remind you, if nothing else, of what happened and what we did during those days. I think the 9/11 situation is our top of the morning story this morning.
Top of the morning to you. These are the big stories making news and conversation today on the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
Tomorrow is the 20th anniversary of 9/11. President Biden will visit all 3 sites where the attacks unfolded. There will be a ceremony at the 9/11 site in New York City. They will, once again, as they've done, I think, every year, read the names of all the victims out loud, 3,000 plus of them. Events are scheduled at the Pentagon and the Flight 93 Memorial in Pennsylvania. 6,000 people injured, almost 3,000. I said over 3,000, I'm wrong. 2,977 people killed on September 11th. It is the deadliest terror attack in history, not just American history, but in history. And it's just, Biffy, you and I have talked about it, we don't have to repeat it, but think back to the day, 9/11, and the things that we saw and the feelings that we felt back then. You know, this line we used to use shortly after 9/11, Biffy, would it fill in the blank, and then if we, blah, 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 the terrorists win. I don't mean this in a terrible way, but the truth of the matter is the terrorists have won. We have changed so much. We have put so much invasion of privacy into effect. We have, we've changed our way of life. I mean, the terrorists wanted us to change our way of life, and they did that. It's just, it was, at least to me, a terrific, horrible day. But, Biffy, I think you agree with me. Listening to some of the reports we've had here and maybe some of the other things you've seen on TV, I had forgotten the horror of that day. But I have been reminded a lot about it this week. Have you?
Yeah, you forget some of the stories about, what people did and, how they, without even thinking, just went in New York, to be specific, in both World Trade Center buildings, just to try and get people out. I mean, what just no thought, or the people that decided in the plane that landed in Shanksville to say, hey, we got to do something, and we're going to go in there and we're going to try and land this plane. I mean, it's just some of the stuff you see, stuff like that, or you hear the stories of the survivors, and it's a wide range of emotions.
The phone calls that came from Flight 93, the one that eventually crashed in Shanksville, where the people on that plane called their loved ones to tell them, well, I'm not coming home. We've been hijacked. We're taking this plane down. Tell my kids I love them. Oh, God, Biff. I mean,
it gives you chills.
I had tears watching some of that stuff last night. Yeah, I had tears. Wow.
And again, I mean,
and you think about the, go ahead, I'm sorry.
And I was going to say, and it just goes to show the range of emotions, that you have. I mean, from, tears and just everything. I mean, you experience it all, and it's really one of those few events where I don't think you get so many emotions wrapped up into events as we did this one. I mean, from sadness and to anger. I mean, you name it. I mean, it was there 20 years ago, and I think it still is today. Some of those emotions are still there.
Absolutely, and we still, just this week we identified 2 more people, bodies that have been pulled out of the rubble but hadn't been identified. Just this week we identified 2 more. There are still some unidentified people who died in that attack, whose families don't have real closure yet because there's not been any firm assessment of who they are. It's horrible. I wanted, so throughout this week, we've been taking a look at 9/11, that day and the aftermath of that day through an ABC News documentary that we've been sharing with you in various parts. And we will have the last final parts coming up a little bit later on this morning. If you are only with us in the early hour, we have not run this in the early hour of the show. And I wanted to just take a minute or two here to let you hear how this whole thing begins. Our documentary that we had, this part ran on Wednesday, but I want you to hear it here in this hour of the show. And it does take you back, and you will feel, and we all feel, the emotions Biff just talked about, the sadness, the horror, the anger. It's all here in this part of our ABC documentary.
It's an explosion, right? Yes. It's a plane into the building.
A plane into a building. On the surface, that's what September 11th was. Planes into buildings.
We got two calls, one from the 104th floor and one to the 64th floor. They said they broke the windows out, but they can't breathe and there's too much smoke.
There was smoke. There was fire.
You saw an explosion? You saw an explosion at the Twin Towers.
There was bewilderment.
Stated that a second plane hit another building opposite of the first building that got.
headlines from 7 News at WTRF, My Ohio Valley, and ABC Ohio Valley. Only on AM 1600 WKKX. The Watchdog.
Good Friday morning. I'm Rebecca Little with your 7 News headlines for September 10th. President Biden has unveiled a new pandemic response plan to combat the surging coronavirus. It mandates all employers with more than 100 workers require them to be vaccinated or test weekly. All federal workers must get the shot as well or face losing their jobs. This new requirement is expected to affect as many as 100 million Americans. And Marshall County students will have one more thing to bring to school come Monday. The school board has unanimously voted for a new mask procedure. It includes children wearing a mask on buses as well as inside school buildings. The same goes for administrators, faculty, staff, and visitors. And tonight, everyone is invited out to the Capitol Theater for the We Will Never Forget concert. The Remembrance will feature performances by the Honky Tonk Sweethearts and the Ron Retzer Trio. The Eat Free event kicks off at 7 p.m. And that was a look at your headlines. Have a great Friday, everyone.
T.J. Watt of the Steelers, a very, very, very rich defensive player. He's the highest player now in the National Football League after he signed a $112 million 4-year extension. I know what you're asking. How much of it is guaranteed? Try $80 million. Oh, by the way, you'll earn about $28 million a year. Not bad for a 26-year-old football player. Maybe the best defensive player in the National Football League. Meanwhile, TJ and the Steelers will visit the Buffalo Bills Sunday in the regular season opener. The NFL opened the regular season Thursday night in Tampa as the defending NFL champions, the Buccaneers, edged the Dallas Cowboys 31-29 in a thriller. That oldie but goodie, 44-year-old Tom Brady, the quarterback of the Buccaneers, he had a pretty good night. He threw for 379 total passing yards and, oh, by the way, 4 TD passes in the victory. College football Saturday, the West Virginia Mountaineers will host Long Island in Morgantown. 11th-ranked Penn State will host Ball State. The Pirates, they didn't win or lose Thursday. They had an off day, but they're back to work tonight at home at PNC Park. The 50-90 Pirates host the Washington Nationals. I'm Bill DeFabio on sports, and we are the Watchdog.
The Variety Show with Bill DeFabio is live on the Watchdog Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. We talk to some of the region's best business owners while keeping you informed about area events and happenings. You won't believe who I have on next. Tune in and get with the program. Guests from preachers to pros and even some Super Bowl champions. Join me, Bill DeFabio, from noon to 2 for the Variety Show on the Watchdog.
Are you traveling? Working a little bit too much? Is your fur baby starting to get a little shaggy? Let Dirty Paws be your one-stop shop for all of your pet care needs. Stop in and see us at 202 18th Street or give us a call at 304-639-7754 to schedule your appointments for dog grooming, doggy daycare, and dog boarding today.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Over the years, you've brought opioids into your home. They helped when you were in pain, and you held on to them just in case. But holding on to opioids puts your family at risk. Learn more at www.fda.gov/drug disposal.
For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the Watchdog trusts.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, Or you, your best man. Your worst man. You, your dog walker. Your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
I'm Josh from Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration. I hope you are staying healthy. We continue to respond to structural, fire, and water emergencies. We are combating COVID-19 with our highly trained staff and latest disinfection systems, providing preventative and reactive disinfection to facilities around the region, while working with area hospitals on isolation areas and air filtering. At Panhandle, we continue to follow social distancing and hygiene protocols. We are dedicated to our community, and together, we will get through this.
I'm not buying till I check on Ford. Most of us are faced with uncertainty every day. Your job, your finances, sporting events, schooling for your children, and so much more. With so much uncertainty surrounding you, there is one auto dealership that you can be certain about, and that's Doane Ford. You can be certain that you always get a great deal and the best service afterwards. Being in business for over 50 years has given Doane Ford the reputation of being a strong, reliable dealership. Be certain. Choose Doane Ford. Online at DoaneFord.com. I'm not buying till I check Doane Ford.
Hello, everyone. It's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is, fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. I'm a private real estate investor who can solve your real estate problems fast for cash. Do you want to sell and just be done with it? Okay, great. I buy vacant properties, boarded up houses, pre-foreclosures, and inherited properties. I also buy apartment buildings, rental portfolios, divorce homes. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. I look forward to solving your real estate problems today. Call me today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Dominating both AM and FM, the Watchdog is AM 1600 and 1370, FM 98.1 and 97.7. We are the Watchdog. Keep up with the ever-changing world of sports all night long. Sports Map Radio is on the Watchdog, FM 98.1, AM 1600.
Watch out! He could climb on his soapbox at any time. The Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues.
President Biden imposing some vaccine mandates on businesses and other entities. We'll talk about that. Wheeling Park High School cancels its football game because of COVID. Marshall County puts a mask mandate into effect. We'll talk about all of that in the COVID update. And is there going to be a special session of the legislature to talk about forbidding mandates? We'll talk to Senate Minority Leader Stephen Baldwin about that later on, and we'll continue our ABC News documentary series on 9/11, 20 years after, coming up in a bit. But first, weather time. Zach Petty is here with us from the Big Seven. Good morning, Zach. Happy Friday to you.
Happy finally Friday, Howard. How are you going through today?
You know, I am reflective today. You're too young to remember 9/11, right?
I was 4 years old, so not vividly, but obviously I do remember the severity of it. I remember watching the Pittsburgh News and how serious everything was. I remember kind of a little bit with my parents, just kind of making sure everything was okay, and just kind of I understood the magnitude. Obviously, I didn't understand or get told what exactly happened. Obviously, you're 4 years old. What do you want to tell your kid what happened? I wouldn't fully understand it, but I did understand the severity of it. But in terms of the details, probably not so much.
Well, first of all, I was 48, and I didn't understand all that was happening either. I mean, the truth of the matter is that was one of the most unsettling days of my life because we had no idea what was going on. None.
Fair.
Watching TV and seeing a plane hit the building, we think there's an accident. That's what everybody thought. Some kind of a weird, bizarre air traffic control, drunk pilot, whatever. Oh my God, it's horrible. It's an accident. Second plane hits. Now it's terrorism or it's a deliberate act. Then the buildings come down. Then the Pentagon gets hit. Then we hear about this flight over Pennsylvania could be coming back to hit the Capitol. We didn't know what was going on. I mean, we just plain didn't know what was going on. It was
go ahead.
No, it was a disconcerting day.
Right, and as much as I think what time was it? It was 9 o'clock or something when the first plane hit, and didn't it kind of span like even into the early stages of the afternoon for the Capitol?
Well, what was happening, and what I was watching it. Almost, not exactly, but almost every 30 minutes something else was happening. Boom, first plane hits.
Okay.
About 30 minutes later, second plane hits the World Trade Center. Boom, Pentagon. Boom, Shanksville. Boom, the World Trade Center 1 comes down. Boom, World Trade Center 2 comes down. Almost 30-minute schedule. Honest to God, I thought, oh my Lord, every 30 minutes of this day, they're going to launch another attack. It was unbelievably disconcerting.
Right.
Now, 20 years afterwards, I've been doing an awful lot of reflecting on that and what happened and how it happened and what we did afterwards. You know, we took what we thought, I think, was appropriate action in going into Afghanistan, but now 20 years later, trillions of dollars and thousands of lives after we pull out, and Afghanistan is exactly the same position it was when we went in. Did we do the right thing? We engaged in torture, and that really doesn't seem very American to me. We have created this huge big brother state because we wanted to have more intelligence. I don't have answers. I just have a lot of questions, and I'm reflecting. So the answer to your question, how are you doing today, Howard, is I'm very reflective today on all of this stuff. Very reflective.
Fair enough. I understand.
Yep. Let's reflect on the weather. Nice day today, right? Going to be a good day, good couple of days, yes?
Yeah, really. Hard gear shift to that, but hopefully more uplifting and positivity in regards to your weather. We got pretty dominant and strong high pressure off to our west. That's going to keep us sun-filled for the entirety of the day. Once the valley fog does decide to burn off, I'm saying closer to 9, 10 o'clock, the typical time frame for that. But today will be pretty darn close, Howard, to your Goldilocks temperature. We'll max out those thermometers right around 73, but still low to mid 70s, slightly cooler than average, but still pretty sun-filled way to end the work week.
Yeah, starting off pretty foggy, real foggy here at the home studios, and I guess it is around the most of the valley. And it's a cool morning, too, 54 at the airport, 52 here at the home studios, but it is going to warm up a little bit, 20 degrees or so, be fairly pleasant, sunny. I thought about pool weather. I'm not sure. I think my pool days may be over. I think it's it just has that fall feel outside. I just don't know that it's going to be pool time, even with good sunshine. But it'll at least be a beautiful day for a walk, right?
Oh, absolutely. Perfect weather for a walk today. But Howard, what about if I tell you about the weekend? Maybe that'll maybe brighten the skies and spirits for a pool pool day. It looks like that high pressure is going to be staying overhead. Both Saturday and Sunday looks to be sun-filled, even into the next work week even, Howard. I got upper 70s for your high on Saturday, so we'll increase temperatures by about 5 degrees Friday to Saturday, and possibly another 5 degrees from Saturday to Sunday. I expect us to get back into the lower 80s. Winds will shift and blow from the southwest, bringing in a warmer and slightly muggy air mass, so we might get back to some of the pitch ripper weather with the impressive mugginess as we head into Sunday and the next work week. But low 80s on Sunday, maybe even mid-80s as we head into the start and beginning of the next work week. We should be trending dry and nice for the next 4 or 5 days Not really seeing any sort of precipitation that will be formed. We have that strong high pressure overhead, so it'll be hard for anything to kind of form. No real changing air masses except for the surface winds blowing from the southwest. So maybe pool weather Sunday, maybe you can try to hold your son off and tell him, hey, just let Dad walk into the pool one more time on Sunday, maybe even Monday.
One last little dip. That's all I want.
Right.
He's already begun the closing process, with the shock and all that kind of stuff. But I just don't give me one last. I want to get in there one last time.
Right.
It is so. We talked about this all week, Zach, about how it feels like fall and all that kind of stuff. My front yard, I'm going to have to rake the leaves sometime this weekend because the leaves are falling.
You might have to, but it might even, I don't even know if you're going to want to be outside even by the time we head into the beginning of the next work week, just because it truly might feel a bit more like summer.
Well, I'd be okay to have a few more extra days of summer, that's for sure. It's going to be in the 80s once we get past today. But really, once we get past today, we warm up close to 80 and then into the 80s for a few days. So I like the sound of that. Do we have rain coming in next week? You said the weekend's going to be pretty rain-free. Rain coming in next week or not?
We should be holding it off on Monday, Tuesday. I'm expecting to continue on with that broad high pressure into the region. Best chances for rain look to develop on Wednesday and Thursday, and as of now, we're just looking at a chance we could see a cold front moving through. But again, we're talking at the tail end of that 7 days, so the likelihood of it being correct is still high, but still not as concrete as it would be for let's say today and tomorrow.
Blow that rain away, Zach. Blow it away for Thursday. Make it Friday if you have to.
I'll do my best. I'll do my best, Brother Biff.
All right.
How was golfing last night, Biff?
Oh, beautiful last night. We got got out and a little windy, but not too bad. Course was in pretty good shape, and we got her in and had dinner at Generations after, and it was good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were out driving around your golfing time, and I said to my wife, I said, this should be perfect weather for Biff and the golfers. So glad you got it in. Zach, any big plans for the weekend?
I'm heading up to State College. I got season tickets for the football games this year, so I'm heading up there, and then I'm actually on vacation Monday, Tuesday, so I won't be in. Aaron will be in for me, so I'm going to be staying around the area helping my grandparents out. They have a couple tasks that they need. A big, strong man, they say. I'm like, I just look at myself. I'm like,
but they'll be satisfied with you, though.
What's that?
You said they need a big, strong man. I said, but they'll be satisfied with you, right?
Probably not. I'm working on it still.
Only kidding.
I know. I'm working on it.
All right, listen, have yourself a good weekend and a good couple of extra days. We'll talk to you again then, I guess, on Wednesday.
Yes, sir. Have a good one. Hopefully Aaron treats you guys the right way.
All right. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Yep. We'll see
Zach
you.
Petty from the Big 7, WTRF TV, here on the Watchdog. I don't think you got my joke there at first, Biffy.
Oh, I got it right away. I knew exactly what you were talking about.
You got it. 6 before the hour here on the Watchdog Morning Show. 54 at the airport, 52 at the home studios, 52 at the Robinson Auto Group Studios downtown Wheeling in the heart of the Ohio Valley. Fog pretty much everywhere. Do I need a break or not?
No, we are good.
Then let's do the COVID update for the hour.
COVID-19 update.
Well, President Biden ordered a whole new mandate deal on COVID vaccines yesterday. If it goes into effect and is not challenged or stopped by the courts, it'll cover nearly 100 million Americans. The president said, we've been patient, but our patience is wearing out. Your refusal, referring to those who don't get vaccinated, your refusal has cost all of us. Vaccinations will be required for all executive branch employees of the federal government and anybody who does business with the federal government, as well as workers at all healthcare facilities that get Medicare or Medicaid. Private companies with more than 100 employees must either require their workers to be vaccinated or to be tested every week. Biden also doubled the fines for passengers who refuse to wear masks on planes, and said the government is going to work to increase the supply of COVID testing. It is not surprising. This is a controversial move. Some Republican office holders blasted the new mandates. Some union leaders the same way, saying there will be legal challenges, and I'm sure there will be. Let's see, in West Virginia, we still have no green counties. Most of the counties are all red or orange. We have a couple of yellow. The COVID-19 case count and death toll continuing to rise. 20 new COVID deaths in the daily report as of yesterday morning, 20 new ones. On average, West Virginia reports more than 10 deaths every day over the past 7 days. So there are 44 counties in the red now. 8 counties are in orange. That includes Ohio County. 1 is in gold. 2 are in yellow. No, Zipperuni counties are in green.
Our map looks
and
like
all 55 counties have a red level infection rate, too. I'm sorry, what, Biffy?
I was going to say, think of it this way. The map of West Virginia looks like a fall foliage map if you're going by leaves.
Actually, it's exactly what it looks like. In fact, if you didn't know what it was, you might think it was that fall foliage map they put out every year, right?
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, it's exactly what it looks like. If you look at the infection rates, though, all 55 counties are red if you look at the infection rate, which is not good. You know, we're going to Colorado for a vacation in about a month, and we had a little gathering last night to talk about that at Uniglobe. The infection rate in West Virginia yesterday was 17.96%. I was wondering, what's Colorado? 5. It's like, hey, no, I'm going to a better place. You know, geez, we're almost 18% here. That's absolutely crazy. In Ohio, the kids' COVID-19 rates have overtaken other age groups. More kids getting COVID-19 in Ohio than adults. For people who go, oh, the kids are okay, don't worry about it. Wheeling Park High School's football game canceled this weekend. COVID concerns. School isn't saying a lot about the COVID cases there. Earlier in the week, the newspaper reported at least 150 kids were quarantined, but I don't have any new numbers for you on that. According to the intel, the quote is, nothing more was said by the school system except the football game for this weekend has been canceled. And Biffy, here we go again. Here we go again.
Yeah, and Magnolia, they had their game this week against River and their game next week against Cameron canceled as well.
And Magnolia, actually, the schools are closed for, I guess, the next week, right? So
yeah, I think they said 10 days.
Yeah, I mean, Marshall County School Board had an emergency meeting. They are going to put face covering mandates, mask mandates in effect for all students and staff in Marshall County schools starting Monday. And you have to wonder, Biff, I have to wonder, are Ohio County School Board members, one, are they thinking to themselves, maybe we made a mistake when we refused to do mandates? And are they thinking now about maybe revisiting that, given what's been happening? I have no inside info on that. I'm just wondering out loud. We're going to talk about the possibility of a special session on mandates in West Virginia coming up next here on the Watchdog Morning Show. But right now, ABC covers the world.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
The ABC News is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
With protest.
Stephen Baldwin should call it 8:10, Biffy. Yeah, he said, yeah. And what I'm going to do, that last segment, I'll do the segment 4 at 8:40. I don't know how long that is. I can't remember. The last segment's only, I think, 3 minutes. I'll run that right when we come out of the news. I'll intro it, and then I'll go right from it to John. He and I can talk about 9/11 after that. So we'll start the hour with that short. Okay. Okay, that's fine. So 4 is 5 minutes and some odd seconds, a little less than 6. Okay, all right. I'll do that in the 8:40-ish segment, and then I'll open the hour at 9:10 with segment 5. And then I'll go straight from that to John, and he and I can talk about 9/11 a little bit. At least that's the plan. Yeah, who knows, by the time it comes around, things could be different. Absolutely.